Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna and I hope that you're having an amazing day. So today I'm here to talk to you guys about something that I kind of come across quite a lot here in college on my day-to-day life, and that is basically the question of how to not gain the freshman 15. I'm an editor for an online magazine, hercampus.com, and my campus is WPUNJ if you're interested. And I had a contributor recently write an article on how to not gain your freshman 15. And I know that's a huge concern for anyone going into college, in college. It's not just a freshman 15, it's any kind of year in school, but normally when you come in freshman year, you're surrounded by all this food, and you go to parties and eat there, and you're just food is a huge social tool, and a lot of the times we're typically not making maybe the best choices, or we're just mindlessly munching, and so that's where the freshman 15 kind of comes into play, if you didn't know. But I recently had a talk with Manny about this article, and I didn't laugh at it, but I know that my interpretation of nutrition and how to best lose weight and how to stay healthy is different than the mainstream society, so I thought I'd throw my tips out there in case you were interested. And this isn't just for freshman 15, this is for anyone who feels like they want to lose weight in a safe, healthy way. And so without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing that anyone kind of associates with weight loss is immediately a diet / calorie restriction. And I'm here to say no. That is not the way to lose weight. There is a science to weight loss in which the amount of work you put into your body versus what you are intaking into your body, if there is more being put in and less, work being put out, then of course you're going to start to gain weight. However, it is dependent on the type of food you're eating. You can eat 400 calories of fried chicken, or some sort of super greasy food, and of course that amount of calories is going to fill you up a little less, because just like the level of fat that is in that food is automatically going to kind of sink down, and it's not as fulfilling or satiating as something like a leafy green or eating complex carbs that has the fiber and the nutrients in it. So you're less satiated with less food but more calories. So when you're trying to get full and satiated with those foods that are higher in calorie and lower in nutritional density, then that's when you start to overeat, and the serving size is just completely different. It's going to take a lot more vegetables to equate to the same amount of calories as something like like a bacon double cheeseburger type of thing. Am I making sense? So it's not actually the amount of food you're eating, it's the type of food you're eating. And that's not to say that you should associate nutritionally dense foods with weight gain, because you can eat them on the occasion. I have French fries, I have vegan pizza, but I don't make that the basis of my diet, especially when I'm trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So that is my first tip. And another thing about calorie restriction is that it's just not, our body isn't made to be in a restricted state. Instinctually we want to, be full and have energy. So when we start depleting it of that, we're actually doing the opposite, and we're slowing down our metabolism, and our body's going to start to store fat because it doesn't know when it's going to get enough calories to kind of fill itself again. And that's why sometimes skipping your meals and then on top of that calorie restriction really isn't like the safe and healthy route to lose weight. It actually can do a lot of harm to your body rather than good, despite what it may look like on the outside. So that's my first tip. Another thing that people like to associate with weight loss is immediately going to a low carb diet. And this goes along the same lines of calorie restriction. And actually a low carb diet is actually very, 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 very harmful to your body. Carbs are your body's main source of energy. And the reason why people think that cutting carbs is the way to go is because A, the meat and dairy industry likes to promote their products versus rice, and Also, if you're cutting out any food source, automatically, you know, you're gonna be cutting calories out of your diet. So if you cut out meat, you're gonna lose a whole bunch of weight. If you cut out carbs, you're gonna lose a whole bunch of weight because now you've cut this whole food group that you normally would eat. So a high carb diet, which is what I follow, really in my eyes is beneficial because A, you're giving your brain, your body, the nutrients and energy it needs, and also it isn't filled with any, you know, animal products that are just filled with lots of harmful things to your body, and of course adding to the cruelty and destruction of our earth. And I just want to reiterate that a low carb diet isn't necessarily the healthiest for you. If you wanted to start, if cutting out something is something that makes sense to your brain, I think the first thing, if you still eat meat, to cut out is perhaps a red meat food source that you consume, or chicken or fish, and replacing that with a vegetable. So and that's my tip with going vegetarian vegan also, is whenever you're taking out something, input something else. And my tip is usually, of course, to add a vegetable to your diet. And if you're vegan and you're in a place where you want to lose weight, I would suggest incorporating more complex carbs into your diet, whole processed foods into your diet, unprocessed foods into your diet, and also maybe start making more raw foods as a part of your diet, so that you're eating fewer calories but you're still satiated and still giving your body all the nutrients it needs. Raw foods are the key if you're looking to kind of lose weight and you feel that you're at a place where, you know, what else can I, you know, do? I think incorporating more raw foods into your diet rather than taking away carbs is the answer to that. Okay, another tip that people like to give, which I used to follow before, you know, I did my research, is eating 6 small meals a day, and that is how you will keep your metabolism burning and cut down craving and, you know, shorten your appetite. And I'm here to say that's actually a huge myth, and it's really false. Eating 6 small meals a day doesn't actually cause you to burn more fat. In fact, it actually backs your digestion system up. If you're constantly eating, then you're never giving your digestion a break, and you're never giving it a chance to kind of catch up with the food that you're inputting into it. So it's kind of always working, and that actually can slow your metabolism down, causing you to actually gain more weight. So if you are a person that likes to constantly kind of be munching, I would say that maybe instead of eating the 6 small meals, cut it down to maybe 3 meals and a snack somewhere in between. What I do is I eat breakfast, lunch, and then I might have a snack in between if there's a long time between dinner, and sometimes I'll have a dessert, or I will eat my 3 meals and then have a dessert at the end of the day. It was a hard transition to go from 6 small meals to eating more satiating meals, but in the long run, I like that I feel full for longer than 2 hours. It's actually way relieving to have that in my life and not constantly be thinking, okay, what can I eat where I'm not going over calories? And that's another thing, is that with your 6 small meals, you have this mentality of kind of keeping it within a certain calorie range, and I think that once you start kind of getting yourself to 3 meals a day, you start listening to your body more, and you start recognizing what's hunger and what's thirst, which leads to my next point, that is drinking water. So people think that water like makes you burn fat, which is not true. It's the fact that we are made up primarily of water. And so that means that we should be intaking water quite often, quite frequently, and in large amounts. And most Americans don't. Most Americans are, you know, dehydrated. And our body sends signals to our brain that we can often confuse as hunger, when actually in reality what we are is thirsty and dehydrated, and what we need is a glass of water and not a snack. So when it comes to you know, making sure that you're not overeating in a sense, make sure that you're drinking enough water in turn. And yeah, so that's all the tips that I have for right now, remember that, you know, food isn't your enemy. No calorie is bad. It's just filled with things that can be bad for you. So it's not the food itself, it's the combination of things that you are eating. I hope that makes sense. And also, you know, our bodies are made to move. So if you're not doing anything active and you're looking for a way to lose weight, then maybe go out for a walk or try a new, you know, exercise class. Go do yoga, go for a run. Find what works for you, get your body moving. Our bodies are made to move, and in the combination of right foods, a healthy mind, and a healthy body, you know, your body's ideal weight will come to you. And maybe that's in society standards, but I think health matters way more over what our culture, you know, pushes as the ideal body. You know, your body at its healthiest state is the ideal body. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. Oh, and if you're not subscribed, please press that red subscription button down below. Just means I'm going to pop to your feed whenever I have a video, typically on a Monday, sometimes on a Wednesday, and bye.